Hello, my friend. Welcome to this quick lesson. We're going to be talking about the transformational pathway. So there's a couple of things that are important to understand. One is that a premium offer must by definition, offer a transformation of some kind. Now, what do we mean by transformation? I don't want you to get caught up in this idea that the person who buys something from you at this $5,000 level, say for example, let's say that's sort of the standard midline price point that you go out to the market with. I'm not suggesting that the person who buys that, every single thing about their life must change for the positive, otherwise you're scamming them out of money. That's not what we're talking about at all. Instead, we are talking about transforming a very specific problem that they have from what the problem is today to the dreams or goals or solutions that they want tomorrow. Okay? So let me give you a very simple example. A transformational pathway that real estate agents provide for people is somebody who doesn't own a home today can own a home tomorrow. It's very simple. It's profound. Don't get me wrong. The more profound the transformation is that you offer, the more people are going to be willing to pay for it, and the more likely there will be a high demand for it, and the easier it will be for you to offer and get people to buy. But it doesn't have to be all encompassing. It doesn't have to affect every single element of someone's life. So up to this point, you've gone through the research phase. You've looked for pain that you may potentially solve. You maybe even have some ideas. In this lesson, what I want you to do is to work through a few of those pain points that you've discovered through your research and to play a little game. It's called the State A to State B game. I first learned this not as a game, but I first learned this as a concept probably in 2014, maybe 2013, from a very popular marketer who I learned it from someone else and learned it from someone else who learned it from someone else, which means that the concept and the idea itself is solid. It's been passed down from from marketer to marketer, from business owner to business owner, because it is a foundational idea. And it's called the State A to State B change. Now, I like to think of it as a game in the sense of I will sit down when I'm creating new offers for myself or for clients, and I will run multiple scenarios of State A to State B. So take a look really quick here at figure 1.0. This is the example of a transformational pathway. You can see on the left-hand side, we have State A, and there's a frowny face. And then you can see on the right-hand side, we have State B, and it's a smiley face. And then we have kind of an arc that connects the two. That arc is the pathway that we're talking about. It's a transformational pathway. We're going to be talking a lot more about that pathway in some later lessons, but it's just important for you to understand it now. And then, of course, at the bottom, you see I have arrows pointing. This is where your research goes. Now, State A and State B. State A is the mindset, the situation, the reality of a single person who is in the pain that you are trying to solve. So let's use the example of myself. My State A, when I first discovered that my body measurements were trending into obesity levels, my State A would be the following: a little bit of panic and worry about my own, like how long I was going to live. I have heard all sorts of statistics about what happens when somebody is obese for a long time, the damage it does to their heart. insulin resistance, the increased likelihood of et cetera, et cetera. So I was starting to worry, was starting to panic a little bit, was starting to think thoughts of what's going to happen to my kids if I pass away, what's going to happen to my wife, what's going to happen to, et cetera. I was starting to feel regret that I hadn't taken better care of myself. I was starting to feel regret that I hadn't built my business in such a way that if I died tomorrow, it itself would crumble because I hadn't done the systems, I hadn't done all these things that I wanted to do to build a business that would actually continue to live on without me. I also was in a frantic search, so I began frantically searching for solutions. I also was really struggling. So for me, the addiction that really was sort of a catalyst for obesity, there was two. One was I didn't really move a lot, and I drank a ton of soda. I was drinking like a couple cans a day at that time. And so I was struggling with those issues. I was struggling with the addiction of caffeine and soda and sugar. I was trying to get it out of my system. I was looking for all sorts of different ways. I kept failing. I tried keto and I couldn't do keto. Then I tried this and I couldn't do that. And there's all these different things. I tried like the online video programs like P90X. I tried weightlifting. I didn't really like weightlifting. I tried all these different things. And so I was just constantly in this up and down cycle. And then there was the physical feeling. There was just the physical feeling of my gut constantly pressing on my the fat in my belly, because I really had a lot of visceral fat, constantly pressing on the organs inside my body, and I wasn't getting great sleep, and I was definitely pumping my body with cortisol, and there's all those physical feelings. Now, I'm telling you all of this because this is the game of state A to state B. And when I say game, and this comes from me as a writer of fiction, because I also write fiction as one of my companies or one of my income streams. When you're sitting down and you're trying to write a good story, you have to think of a character, and you have to get into the mind of a character. And I've found over the years of writing fiction that if I just play pretend, if I just get into character play, if I just pretend I am that person, I can get a really accurate picture of somebody's state A. Somebody, when they are at the height of this pain, what are they experiencing? What are they living through? What are they struggling with? What's on their mind? What are they laying awake at night scared of? And when you're going through and creating this state A sort of picture, I don't care if you write it down. I don't care if you print off this figure one and put it up on a wall, and maybe you're more of a visual person and you want to like get out some magazines and cut things out and put them on the wall to where people are sort of struggling in state A, that represents to you in your mind where these people who are experiencing the pain, that you can help them with what they look like, what they feel like, what they're experiencing, or if you want to draw it or whatever you want to do. The point here is, and maybe fun isn't a word that you would describe, but the idea here is to be loose, to be creative, to be open, to really try and practice empathy towards the person whose pain you're trying to solve. Because the better you understand that person in that moment, the better you can speak to them when you're selling, and the better the solution you can provide for them, right? To create a premium offer that helps them where they are at. And you're really going to find later on in this program, when we go through roadblock mapping, how important it is to understand where people are at and the struggles that are, and the roadblocks that are keeping them from getting to where they want to be. So state A, play this little game of where they are. Okay, really get to know this person. Then in your state B, that is where they want to be. So when I was getting into my obesity sort of danger levels, My desire wasn't to get a six-pack ab. My desire was to feel healthy again. My desire was to get so far, I just wanted to be away from those, and the little app I was using, the numbers turned red when I got into body fat percentage and BMI and stuff that suggested I was getting too much visceral fat and getting into obesity and things like that. The numbers would turn red. I just wanted to get out of red. I was trying to go for green. I tried to get out of yellow, wanted to go for green. For me, it wasn't about getting abs. And that's important, because what happens sometimes is when we're playing this transformation game in our head, or we're trying to come up with a product or a service, we misinterpret what somebody wants. And so we look at them and say, look, dude, you're like obese. I know exactly what you want. You want six-pack abs. And we sit there and we think, well, why aren't people buying this from me? I'm trying to tell them they can get six-pack abs. What? It's because that's not what they want. Now, I'm not saying that you can't target people who are struggling with obesity and tell them they can get six-pack abs and not sell it. But what I'm saying is it's incorrect to just automatically assume that what people want is like the most hardcore thing. Let me give you another example. Many of you who bought this program are perfect examples of that concept. This program has been pitched as a program that allows you to build a business that includes a significant amount of life balance. It's called Peaceful Profits. If we were to take the example of obese to six-pack abs, and we were to apply it to the world of business, that's the same thing as saying, do you hate your business? Let me teach you how to make $1 million a day. It's incorrect to assume that everybody wants $1 million a day. A lot of people look at that and they're like, there's no way I'd be willing to sacrifice what is required to sacrifice to make that kind of money. Or there's just a lot of people who aren't motivated by that. They have other motivations. So when you are looking at your state A to state B and you're playing this game, it's not about pulling stuff out of thin air. It's about taking your research, which is why there's a note at the bottom. The research that you've done needs to go into the state A and the state B. If you look at figure 1.0, it's about taking that research and then extrapolating on that research. It's about using what you found as a starting point and then digging deeper, not to fill out a worksheet in some program that you're doing. I don't care whether you fill out the worksheet or you don't fill out the worksheet. What I care about is, do you understand the desires? Do you understand the wants? Do you understand the person that you are trying to help? Do you understand where they are? And do you understand where they want to go? That is ultimately the exercise that you're doing right here, right now. Now, the question that always comes up is, I cannot figure this out, right? You say, how am I supposed to know what people want? How am I supposed to know where they're at? How am I supposed to know all of this stuff? Well, one is, it's possible that you haven't done enough research if that's what you're feeling right now. Okay? It's possible that you haven't done enough research if you feel completely like, I have no idea what their state A or their state B would be. So you need to go do more research until you feel like you understand where they are and where they want to go. The second thing is that there is an element when we extrapolate of guesstimating. In other words, part of what sets you apart as a business owner is that you are, in society, the person who is taking a measured and calculated risk. In other words, business owners become business owners because they say, I think this is going to work, and then they go try it. That's how you become a business owner. Then you get other people who aren't necessarily willing to do that same thing to help you grow your business, and you do more of the, I think this is going to work, Let's try it. That's how businesses grow. You always need someone in a business to be able to do that, meaning taking those calculated risks. When you're looking at your state A to state B, you should have enough research to get you started to start saying, well, I think what they want is this. I think what they're feeling is this. Then you take this out into the market, meaning what you create from the state A to state B. So you don't need to go test your state A to state B. You need to go build a high ticket premium offer around your state A to state B and then go test it in the market, right? So that you get feedback on the solution as well, because that's ultimately what we're trying to sell here. It's not just what people say their state A to state B is, but what are they willing to pay for? What's the state B that they're willing to pay for? So you got to go test it in the market, and then you make adjustments. The Peaceful Profit system that you're a part of right now is actually an adjustment from a program that we used to run a long time ago. There are pieces that were missing that we originally thought people wanted to be in their state B, and then we discovered after running several hundred people through it that what they wanted was slightly different. And so we redesigned, rebuilt, and adjusted our transformational pathway to reflect a new state A to state B. Okay? So really quick recap on this and what your next steps and why did I just tell you all of this. So if you look at that arc, the offer that you create here is going to take people through that arc, meaning it's going to take them from state A to state B. That's what we're here to do. A premium offer takes people and transforms them from where they are unhappy at right now to where they will be happy at tomorrow. Your goal right now is to take some of the pain points that you researched and run them through a state A, state B transformation process. Kind of think of a few ideas and see which one of those you would feel the most confident, but also the happiest to provide for someone. I get a genuine sense of fulfillment and joy when you, as a client of ours in the Peaceful Profit system, complete your transformation. I love this particular transformation. There's lots of transformations I could probably help people with because, I'm a human being just like you are, and there's lots of... I could help people launch successful fiction businesses, but I don't really get a lot of satisfaction out of that. I could probably help people become, a stay-at-home writer or something. I don't get the same level of satisfaction as I do with the outcome that's here in the Peaceful Profit system. So you're playing with some pain points, you're getting some ideas and getting really into identifying who this person is from a state A to state B transformation, knowing where they're at, where they want to be, and then you're just asking yourself, is this what I want to do? From here, you will then, and again, you don't have to identify how you're going to get them from state A to state B. That's still coming in some of the lessons later. You're just thinking about the transformation. Would it be cool if I could take someone from here to here? Would it be cool if I could take somebody who was obese and get them to feeling healthy and alive and wonderful and etc.? Would it be really cool if I could take somebody who is struggling in their client-based business right now, who is unhappy in their client-based business right now, and what if I could help them to create a high-ticket offer, to get someone else to market things for them, to add passive income, to add scale, and to eventually work themselves out of their business? Yes, I would love to do that because that would be incredible. That would be amazing. I would really, really like to get behind that. So those are the sort of the questions that you're asking. Then you're just going to keep going through all these videos, get all the work done, and by the end of this stage, you will have your first high-ticket premium offer based on this transformation. Take that out to the market. Get someone to help you to take it out to the market. Get it in front of people, and with the understanding that you have of them where they are to where they want to be, you start to make little adjustments until this is the perfect offer for the perfect person that you want to work for or work with, and you've got a really, really great scalable business. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. I'll see you in the next one.